Good afternoon. Pastor Ross again. I want to start out by telling you, if you have not heard already, that we are going to do another modified dinner on the grounds this coming Sunday at 6 o'clock. If you've come to those and have enjoyed getting to hang out with some of the folks at the church that you've missed seeing, I invite you to come back. If you haven't come and you'd like to see some folks that you haven't seen in a while, maybe, invite you to come. We're going to gather in the parking lot on the Webb Avenue side of the church. We're going to be on the end of the parking lot down near Fisher Street, down near the front of the sanctuary, that end of the parking lot. This time we've normally been gathering up on the other end, but the youth are going to be starting back this Sunday as well, and they are going to be dropping kids off there, and they are going to have their temperatures taken and answer some questions. Got a little health check-in going on there as they come in. And so we want to kind of separate down so we don't have people driving through where the youth are being dropped off. They may even come down and eat with us, which I hope they do. But invite you to come out 6 o'clock on Sunday. We were recording worship last evening. Patrick and I were there, and of course John Moran was doing the technician stuff. Patrick preached last evening, or was preaching this Sunday, and without spoiling, I don't want a spoiler alert here, he's preaching on humility. And I always enjoy listening to somebody else preach, and every once in a while somebody says sticks in your head. And I wanted to pick up on something that you will hear him say this Sunday. And I'm just he let me borrow his page from his sermon. So I'm just going to read what he said here. We lose nothing by lifting up the needs of others, by attending to them, by hearing the stories of those who suffer. Let me say that again. We lose nothing by lifting up the needs of others, by attending to them, and by hearing the stories of those who suffer. I want to key in on the first part of that sentence. We lose nothing by lifting up the needs of others. You know, sometimes I think we forget. When people in various parts of society are in need, whether they are homeless, whether they are people who are maybe not as well off socioeconomically, financially, as other folks are, and they're trying to move up or do a little better. They're asking for things like health care or whatever. Sometimes I think people get down on that, and I think maybe one of the reasons is we have this idea of scarcity. We think that there is a finite amount of stuff, of resources, and that if somebody else is going to have, that means we have less. And I want to offer you today the idea that we don't serve a God of scarcity, but a God of abundance. Life in God is not a pie. So if we all seem to think that there's this pie, and if I have to give you a piece, that means I have less pie. Now, I like pie, and not all that crazy about sharing pie. That means I get less of it, but I can use less of it. But we need to remember that we serve a God of abundance. There is enough for everyone. And not just enough stuff, enough money, but there is enough dignity to go around. And we need to allow others dignity in life. Patrick says we lose nothing by lifting up the needs of others. We have a crisis right now. It was a crisis decades ago, and it kind of has gone underground for a long time, for most of my life, the crisis of racism. And I don't really like that. I like prejudice more as a word to describe what's going on. But I'll concede that the word for the day, the predominant way of describing it is racism, and whatever that means to different people. I'm not going to banner that back and forth, but we have a problem. And sometimes there are those of us, and I'm like this sometimes. I would prefer to not think about the problem, or to think that I already have a good handle on the problem, which is usually more what I think. I think I've already got a good handle on the problem, so I really don't need to think about it too much anymore. Or maybe what I'm actually doing is a version of a scarcity mindset, that if I have to think about it, then perhaps I'm going to lose something of what I think I already know, the handle that I think I already have on an issue. And when Patrick said what I heard him say last evening, we lose nothing by lifting up. We lose nothing by listening to someone else. What is it I think I'm going to lose by listening to someone else's experience of life? What do I think I'm going to lose in my own life by listening to someone else's experience that is different than mine of life in this country? We all experience things differently. And just because someone has experienced something different than in a way that I have, doesn't diminish me and my experience, but it actually broadens my experience in life, because now I understand something about someone else that maybe I didn't understand before, or didn't understand as fully as I thought I did before. So this is actually a fairly short message that I have for you today. And really it centers around, I want us all to consider really that very simple question. What is it that you think you're going to lose by listening to someone else? Listening to someone that you maybe don't agree with, or you don't think you agree with. I remember someone in seminary asked the question, what do you say when someone says, well, I don't believe in God? And the professor said, well, they had a professor when they were in seminary that answered that question by saying, tell me about this God that you don't believe in, because I might not believe in that God either. And what I took away from that is sometimes we have a misconception about something. And then if we will listen to someone, we might find out that we have more in common than we think we do. Or we might understand less about someone else than we think we already understand. I am going to commit to listening more, to put aside my preconceived ideas and listen more, to try to understand more about what I think I already know. Maybe I'll learn something. And I don't think it will diminish me at all. Have a great day.